Oli Fletcher was there. He's a farmer from Leicestershire. The thing was different yesterday was that tractors were banned, basically. There was a few machines allowed into Westminster by the Metropolitan Police, but they basically threatened to arrest anyone who brought a tractor in unauthorised. Oli, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to see you. I hope the day went well yesterday. Tell us what it was like.
Well, I thought it went very well. There was a carnival atmosphere, as there often is at these events, although this time helped by the weather, which was wonderful.
It was a lovely day, wasn't it?
It was a very nice day. I thought the use of the big machines was actually a benefit. It wasn't planned to have tractors. You said tractors were banned, but that wasn't planned by the organisers, as I understand.
Right.
The big machines distinguished it visually from previous protests, which I think was good because it's all about getting stories in the media and therefore having a visually...
And there was a big crowd, wasn't it? I saw the pictures.
Yes. I think between 10 and 15,000 I saw on social media, but I don't on that.
Yeah, I mean, and there's quite a lot of politicians now coming out to meet and greet you, but I guess the big question is, are any of those politicians from the Labour Party, or are any of those politicians from the Cabinet?
Well, we have had, I understand, 3 Labour MPs have come out publicly on our side. Henry Tufnell this last week, which is good. That shows that we are breaking through, we are delivering a message to the party, and those members who come out on our side will be delivering it much better than we ever could. So it's very important that we have them on our side. And of course, you know, with the next election so far away, we have to focus our efforts on delivering an argument to the government about why we need food in this country, which I thought the NFU president, Tom Bradshaw, did very, very well. As we have seen, the geopolitical situation at the moment is somewhat unstable, as is our food supply. We rely on Europe, particularly, for about 30% of our food. If something is to happen in Europe, whether or not we are involved, whether or not it is right, it's going to upset our food supply. And that is a risk that, as a citizen, I really don't want to see my government taking. So I think it's very important that we broaden the argument from beyond inheritance tax to the whole host of other issues that are facing farming at the moment. But most crucially, simply the food supply. This country needs food. It's part of our national infrastructure. And I'm scared that the government is neglecting that.
Yeah, absolutely right. And they still don't seem to be willing to move, though. I mean, I have these conversations practically weekly with people like yourself, and, you know, they haven't admitted that they've got the numbers wrong. They haven't admitted that their calculations don't really stack up. They still keep insisting that the effects of this inheritance tax is only going to affect a very small number of farms, which is clearly not the case.
Yes, it's upsetting, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. I don't think anybody was really expecting any movement before the spring budget. We have to wait for a parliamentary review because they haven't looked at the whether or not the tax is payable, essentially, and they will have to do that before it comes in. So there are these things that are, you know, a long way off, and there is a concern that people are taking their own lives already to avoid the tax, which is an unspeakable tragedy that a government would do that to its own citizens. So there are people panicking, but we must hold our nerve, and, you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint, as I say, and hopefully when these things come to review, they will be looked at, and then the case for them will completely fall apart, as it already has done in public. We've seen Dan Needle, who was the tax expert the government initially rested on, change his mind. There are very few credible people backing the Labour Party's position on this at the moment. But what we now need to do, we've shown that we're prepared to turn up at Westminster. We're not going away. We've done that. That's good. We need to start delivering a nuanced message to MPs, right to their offices, that sort of stuff, to build up the pressure on their caseworkers, who will put pressure on the backbenchers, who hopefully, as we're seeing with characters like Henry Tufnell, who are coming to our side, will then move and put pressure on the Cabinet.
Absolutely. Good to talk to you, Oli. Good luck with it. Oli Fletcher there, farmer in Leicestershire. It's a marathon, not a sprint, like so many things these days.